Here we go, Chiclets Nation. It's Chiclets Game Notes with me and Murls. This is episode number 3 as we keep this train rolling, fresh off of Boston, fresh off a couple podcast drops from the parent club and Murls. Here we are. We're back again with a little delay, right, G, on the drop. Mikey Grinelli's here also with us and keeps everything all together. A little delay. We had to get out of the Boston haze, didn't we? The hangover of the live show and the crew together and everything that happened. And good to see you on here again, bud, as we get cooking again, episode 3.
Good to be on here, boys. Good to be on here. I still have no clothes. I don't know if you heard on the past Chiclets episode this week. I am clothless. I gave away my clothes to a local laundryman who basically took them and ran. So I'm wearing my Pink Whitney jersey right now. Gets me in the mood for a Pink Whitney nip. I actually banged one out before this. So I'm feeling great right now. I feel awesome. I think I'm fully recovered. I don't know about you guys. I think the oldies on the show here are still hurting a bit from the Boston trip.
Yeah, it was a rough one. We had to delay it just so I could get my voice back, number one. But I've been on the treadmill. I've gone and played 2 men's league games. I'm trying to sweat it out. I think I gained 10 pounds just in those 3 or 4 days, eating all the food at Witt's, all the Big Deal Brew. So I'm back. I'm feeling good now. I had another skate last night, and I think the voice sounds pretty good.
Oh, man. Did we not all had the most roasted voices when we did the pod after the outdoor game? It was just ridiculous listening to that. I was just like, oh man, we all sound rough. And then the blog came out yesterday, or the vlog came out yesterday, which was really cool and hilarious and awesome. And
Murls,
starred
you were
RA
absolutely
at the end.
Crippled at the end.
Oh
Whenever
God,
these come out, I'm sitting there praying like, okay, please don't make me look too bad on these. Please don't make me. And I'm watching it all and I'm like, yes, I did it. Yeah. I slid under the radar this trip. Nope. Very end, most buckled of the whole trip. No voice. And thanks a lot, Pasha and G and Sean.
G.
And
I was
Fish,
watching. I'm like, G standing there knowing that RA is just trying to get through this like little stand-up thing. And you're like laughing, G. I could tell because you're like, RA, you're like, this is hilarious with Murls just trying to just fumble through this.
It was unbelievable. Right when they were like, all right, we got to do a wrap up. I'm like, Murls, you're in here. You're getting the call in here. We need you, buddy.
Yeah, you did it good.
Yeah, I got the voice back. I lost it a little bit on Sunday. I went out and watched the Bills game on Sunday. Unbelievable. I got to shout out my brother. He pulled a legendary move. We were supposed to have a big family dinner because I'm going back on Sunday. And his kids had hockey on Monday night, so we couldn't do it Monday. He calls, he cancels 11:30 that day, Sunday. He cancels the kids' hockey. He's like, no hockey for you guys. We're doing family dinner Monday. We're going down to the Ruck to watch the Bills. It's like a Bills backers bar. They're playing the songs, the horns, and everybody saw it. The guy runs it back first kick, and I lost some of my voice, but I think I'm good to go here.
What is it? You know, you make me want to shout, get a hand on shout, in a hands on shout. Come on now. Of course, that was a super. Hey. I got a couple Bills buddies here so I hang around that in the garage when the Bills games are on. Of course, big story this week too with Damar Hamlin and all the support and the Bills going again and the FaceTimes with him and all the stuff that's come out about his, recovery, which has been awesome. I laid on the couch and watched football. That's it. And then I had to work a Pens game that night. I was just couching it, boys. I had to come home. I have an outdoor rink in my backyard, and I came home and I was out there in my bare feet. All the ice melted because we had like a storm, and there's leaves all in there, which I'm pissed about. I get psycho about these leaves. I got to get these leaves out of here, like super backyard rink dad. So my wife bought a pool skimmer off of Amazon. So I'm trying to pool skim. I don't have a pool. I'm trying to pool skim my rink to get the leaves out because if it freezes again, I want it to look perfect, right? So eventually, guys, I got my socks, shoes off, pants rolled up. The water is just like ice, like freezing cold. I was in there for 25 minutes. It took like 2 days for my feet to feel not cold.
Is this the first year you've built? Is this the first year you've built it?
This is the second year I did it. This is the second year I did a rink. It's sick. I got it. Like I actually set it up quicker than I thought, but no boots, Murls, because there's a liner in there. You can't risk wearing boots and cutting the liner or it's game over. And
That's
it's like virtually a plastic bag. So I'm like, I'm going bare feet, like ninja style. I'm going to get in here and get all these leaves out of here. And I got it all primed and ready. I'm not getting the weather yet. So I had that going on that was on the Saturday before the football. So the next day I laid on the couch all day, boys, and my feet were still cold. They were still cold. Like, what a dad move. Epic dad move. Epic dad move number 2. The other day, one of my kids throws up in the middle of the night, like sick, like when you're a kid and you throw up and like you're sick at night. I don't know. It just came on. It was like 3 a.m. and I dodged the first throw up. The second one, reactionary dad style. Like I went to catch it in my bare hands like this, and it was all like liquid. It just poured onto my hands. Like, parents are crazy, man. Parents and Murls.
I had one of those about a month ago. I had to catch it in
the hand catch,
but I was only one hand and still made a mess into the bedding. And it's amazing how you have like the energy to do that in the middle of the night, and like it's not a big deal. Where if it was like myself, I would just like just leave it there and go to bed. But you have the energy. Like you get up, you rip all the sheets off, you shower the kid, then you put new bedding down, and it's amazing what you'll do for your kid.
Parents are no joke, guys. Parents are no joke. Catching barf in the hands is just a reaction. You don't even think twice, It reminds me of like how powerful a thing is. I think back to that one clip. You posted that clip of that guy that shook Gretz's hand is like maybe the coolest thing of the outdoor game.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Things are looking up in my life. And then the B score right away. He's staring at his hand. That's how parents are when they catch their kids barf in their hands. Yeah. They love it. They just do it for the kids and they clean it all up. Yeah. You get the shower going, you get everything ready to roll. And then
this is natural birth control. Like women don't need to take birth control pills anymore. They just need to listen to you two talking about catching your kids puke in your fucking bare hands.
Yeah, this is coming for you, G. This is in your future, my friend. Everyone,
I'll flip it for you, G, and I'll combine both stories. I got my daughter on skates for the first time a couple of days after Christmas. The outdoor rink was cold enough here to skate on. It's now a pool like yours, Army, but we got these mini skates for her. She lasted maybe 25 seconds on them before she's like, no, put me back in the sled. And I'm just ripping her around in the sled. But there was a cool moment to see her on the skates. And we might have a future Murley hockey player coming.
Let's go, Mur.
Love that.
Yeah. I know what you do with the kids. I know the coaching ability. I saw it firsthand.
Murls, how is the Sweden women's hockey like development over there? Like, do they have like good systems like all the way through?
Yeah, it's really good. They have their own pro league, actually, the Swedish Damen Hockey League, SDHL. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard this past fall that next season they're going to let them play full contact. You know how like the women's hockey is usually no hitting. The Swedish league is going to try hitting next season, and that's something that'll be wild. But
that could be game changing.
I think that's the game. I think that's huge. Yeah, G. I think that's huge. They hit already. Like if you go watch, it's fairly physical, but it's like there's just like kind of an unspoken thing that they're not allowed to hit, kind of thing. It's like they're allowed to hit against the boards a little bit, but it's not like. We know there's no hitting and it's a different game, but if they allow hitting, I think that makes it like so much bigger. Like
imagine that US Canada women's game, if they could just lay each other out.
Oh, there's going to be monster hits. There's going to be like this might take it to like when they get nasty after the women get nasty after like something happens. It'll take it to another level. So like that'll take everything to a whole other level with some of those rivalries, especially US Canada for sure, Murls. I'm going to watch for your daughter in that league.
Well, I didn't even have this plan. It just came to me now that we're talking about it, but the US under 18s is going on right now. And the Americans, their best player, I'd say she had 5 points the first game, Margaret Scannell. Guess where her hometown is?
Your backyard.
Troy, New York.
Troy, New York, baby. Home of Uncle Sam. So we got a new hockey prospect out of this hockey factory, Troy, New York, Margaret Scannell. Check her out and the rest of the girls in that tournament.
Margaret Scannell, we want you. Is that what Uncle Sam says?
Yep.
Yeah. Now that I'm American, I know that stuff, big time American. I was thinking though, we got to touch on over the weekend because we were all kind of like, we went our own separate ways. We're trying to get our lives back together after Boston weekend. And then the team chat just got going. I think Witt said something about the Devils are trash, and Pasha was just heated, and Murls, you and I jumped on like G got in there later on, but it was already going real hot. And then Biz got in later on, and like everyone was chiming in. RA was going to screen grab a whole conversation as we were just piling on Pasha during that game, as the Devils ended up winning against the Rangers, which was a great game. Did it seem like, first of all, with that chat, did it seem like it was like 50-50 fans and that's in there? We were kind of talking about that.
Yeah, like whenever we have these trips, we're all best friends, but you don't want to hear from anybody. You kind of want to forget what happened and just dry out for a few days, and then all of a sudden that group text popped up, and I always love to give it to the Devils and Pasha, so I jumped on board. And we ended up in a bad spot.
What are you saying? Like next bet, next goal.
Yeah, we hit a
Army,
couple
let's
of those.
go next goal. We banged a couple down right away, and Pasha was losing his mind, and then he got the last laugh. Right? Pasha loves, like, he hates it, but I think he loves it. Right, with his Devils.
Oh, he loves it. He absolutely, because even when they sucked, he would still be busting your balls about them in the future, how they're going to be good. Like he loves just poking you and poking you and poking you. And that's why it's good, because they're finally decent this year.
Yeah. I know. They're like relevant. They're fun. They're electric. Like anything can happen. They were on an epic losing streak, and they've kind of trying to pull themselves out of it, which has made it super fun for us with Pasha. And I was saying on the podcast we did there, the craziest thing ever, walking around with us in Boston, after we did that Pink Whitney, bar appearance, and then walking over, it was like it was insane rock stars, and like we're all walking, and Witt's a big character, right? Like everyone knows Witt. He's got his kid on his shoulders, like it's hard not to see Witt. Murls is there, guy yells EBR. The thing that was amazing to me with Pasha and his New Jersey Devils thing, and like his character, he's carrying his cameras, like he's just like went all black, carrying his cameras, doing his job. Some guy on top of the Green Monster yelled, "Fuck, the Devils fucking suck." Pasha just started going after Pasha. He can't avoid getting chirped. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. If we can get to some Devils playoff games, you got Rangers, Islanders, Devils, maybe all in the mix. We do a Chiclets trip to New York, home office, and we can just hit a bunch of those games and just be chirping, be betting. It could be an electric spring for us.
Let me ask you this, G, is that kind of how it works? Are we just kind of playing it by ear to see positioning down the stretch, and you might add some of these in? Is this like a thing, or it's just kind of in conversation? We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy part about my job, is like, as the playoffs approach, we're kind of trying to plan out where we're going, what content we're going to be filming. And we have no idea right now. So as we get close, we start to see what matchups could be forming, what city would be a good place to go make some content in. But I can tell you right now, we're going to be all over the place, especially with the fact that TNT has the Cup Finals this year. So we're going to be at the Cup Finals, I think, from start to finish. So that'll be awesome as well. But, oh yeah, for playoffs, we'll be all over the place. Hopefully all three New York teams make it, so we can just be buzzing around in here. I don't have to go too far, but I assume with the East Coast between Boston and New York, we'll be in the Northeast corridor a bit.
Yeah, which is okay for me. I'm in Pittsburgh, so that's good. And we'll see what they do. I mean, they got to
think they make it
too. I think they make it. I think it's hard not to say they make it. It's even, I think they'll finish top 3 in the division, maybe 3rd. So we'll see. Maybe, hey, Mur, I know you guys were there last time. I think could it be a Rangers Penguins first round again? I think it could be. That might be even a great situation, a little gambling cave action with the boys again.
It all started with you.
Yeah, that's how I got kidnapped by you beauties, and got me right in there, got me going. So that was like how it got in there. It's so fun and so crazy. So it's been a whirlwind. We're on episode 3. Let's get right into the show. Let's bring on a guest that we haven't had on yet. It's only episode 3, but we want to get him in the mix and kind of pick his brain here. Let's bring on our boy, the Rear Admiral. All right, now, Murls, Chiclets Game Notes for the first time on the pod with us. We haven't had the pleasure. We'd like to welcome on our boy, and what do we call him? Like the master of ceremonies after the Boston weekend. Rear Admiral, welcome to Chiclets Game Notes, buddy. We're proud to have you on. Love to finally get you on episode 3.
Thanks, boys. It's an honor to be on with you fellas. I'm happy what you're doing, and it's a joy to be here. Hopefully not my last episode after I go 0 for 4.
I know Murls is pumped to have you on for the gambling stuff, right, Murls?
Yeah, we're gonna get to the gambling. All right, start at the Rear Admiral's gambling corner with Spittin Chiclets. So he's the forefather, is it called, or the godfather of gambling for Chiclets?
Well, Biz actually came up with the name. I know it's like, not the most creative thing, RA's corner, but it just stuck. And I've been on a little hiatus lately. I had a tough sledding early. You got to take a break, and I'm glad I did, because like it would have been a bloodbath if I kept going. Just like your mind bets. I'm like, if I took that, man. You need a break sometimes. You got to recharge the batteries. I think things are kind of leveling off too. Like teams are losing 7, 8 in a row. You're like, all right, you're riding. I'm like, I thought the Generals would do, like Krusty the Clown. And it's like teams were just going on, like so many teams on these crazy long streaks. So yeah, I took it off the chin a little, but back up like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you're tough. We saw where you're from. We saw everything. We know what you're about. Going to Boston, meeting all your friends. And speaking of taking are you taking a break from partying a little bit, RA? Do you think I'm hurting still a little bit from Boston? Like I'm now on a cleanse. I'm trying to cleanse. I got chirped like I've aged like 100 years from Minahan. Really crushed my soul. Gee, you were sitting next to me. You could see me just like I was like Nelson when like Lisa Simpson broke up with him.
I was shocked though. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I don't think you look old at all, Colby. I think you have a boyish charm to you.
Thank you. I was like blown away because I always get you that I look young for my age. So RA, are you feeling that now too, though? I came back after, sorry to interrupt. I came back after the live show. We did like an after party, and I came back, me and Memes, we were like in an Uber getting back to the hotel, and RA was still outside hanging out with all his buddies and stuff. It was great. He was still rocking. That was late, RA.
Yeah. Well, it's a Chiclets road trip. Even though it's a mile and a half away, it was still a roadie, because contrary to popular belief of what you hear in the show, I'm actually pretty low key most of the time. I have like 2 or 3 drinks, a couple beers, whatever. I very seldom get like shit faced during the year. The road trips, I kind of uncork it a little bit and have some fun, especially last weekend in Boston. But no, I'm more of like a 2-3 beer. I'm like a beer snob now too, Colby. Like I'm the IPA 7%. Like I'd rather drink 3 or 4 of those and get a good buzz instead of like 8 or 9 domestic things. I don't want to screw up sponsor stuff here. So I like the high octane IPAs. I've been into them lately. There's so many breweries in Massachusetts. So plus you don't get hungover, man. The quality is so good. You're paying friggin' $16 for a 4-pack, but you know where it's going, like the line of Pulp Fiction.
Speaking of Boston, you were the star of the live show. We talked about that on regular Chiclets, but Wednesday night, the vlog dropped and you were the star of the show once again.
Yeah, I watched it last night to make sure everything was cool with it, and it was. And I was like, "Holy shit! This is like a fucking documentary about my life or something." I couldn't believe how much. I mean, it was obviously cool being in the North End and in Charlestown and showing people around, but I was like taken aback at how much Posh included in it. Plus, I made a total asshole out of myself too, which I won't spoil. People will see it tomorrow, but it was fun. It was great. I'd love to show the city off, and can't wait till whatever the next trip is. We'll do it there, Fort Lauderdale, I think.
So people will have seen this by the time they hear us. All right. Do you have anything to say, like a rebuttal possibly for some of the stuff that I think, your feelings are hurt a little bit?
No, I mean, I'm whatever. I'm the clown every once in a while. I don't mind those lumps. I will say,
was the ball slippery? Like, be honest.
That's why I said to Posh, I want to see you guys shoot. The ball was slippery. The ball was wet. My hands wet. You just watch the trajectory. I mean, I was 5 feet away, and you don't want to like hum it too much. It just slides off your finger.
What about the layup? What about the layup?
I mean, I was just like, my soul was dead at that point. I was just like, get me the fuck out of here. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you're confident.
Like, all right, I'm convinced that Stool Prez called you, maybe offered you a live free bet or something, so you would have the worst basketball shot, because all the Stoolies know about his half-court shot that made it about halfway down. So did he have any saying in this? Was that a true shot by you?
No, it's it like, again, it looks awful, but it's go out, shoot a wet basketball, wet hands. You're gonna do the same thing. No, I actually, like, no bullshit, I hit one of the like most famous 3-pointers in my town BNBL history back in the day. I mean, I wasn't a great player. It was actually an accidental pass. My buddy, it was like 5 seconds left, and they rolled the ball to half court to start the clock. And I looked like my other buddy, Pat Woods, who's tall, blonde. And my buddy was like passed it, and he was like, "No!" As he threw it, he realized, like, because I'm tall, blonde. Well, I had hair at the time. He inadvertently passed it to me. It was like 3-2-1. I threw it up, all net, like 3-pointer won the game. So, like, and that was probably the high point of my basketball career. But it looks worse than it is. Like, I'm not a great player. I'm not really that good, but it's just a wet ball, dude. You can't, like, I mean, you can see where I was 4 feet away, and it just rolls off your fucking fingers.
maybe RA, maybe it's some Pasha magic of it too, because it was on the vlog. It was like so perfect. You're like, I used to play high school ball here, like ripped it off, and then all of a sudden it gets to you.
Yeah, he does the slow motion thing. I used to play basketball. I was fucking crying at that. And
I was crying at that.
The skating, man, G's like, oh, go over the media thing. And I didn't think it out first. I haven't skated in years. I'm not particularly great skater. The skates weren't sharp, and I had no confidence. It was like I forgot fucking how to skate. I was like, dude, I did a lap. Like, we're out of here, dude. I'm not breaking fucking a bone for content. I'm sorry. I just wasn't feeling it, man. I was gonna
pretty cool though. All right, right? Like pretty cool getting to skate at Fenway Park, right?
Yeah.
That's the second time you've done it, right?
Yeah. Well, the first time I actually did several laps, but I just was mentally beat, physically beat. It was just a bad idea. But fortunately, I didn't break my head or any arms or anything. So,
well, I thought the rest of the vlog was awesome, showing everyone around Boston. I wish I had flown in, because I think I flew in. Murls, you drove in, right? Everyone was kind of getting in either that day or the day before. G, if I'm correct, you know all everyone's plans, but I wish I kind of could have followed you around just to see all the neighborhood stuff, which I think is really cool. So people, it dropped yesterday, the vlog of our Boston trip, and RA giving you the full tour. I want to ask you too, though, about your suit. Like, you came out in a suit. Is this the new uniform for our live shows? Is RA putting suits on like that? You looked really good. And did you feel the love? Did you feel the compliments from the boys and everything?
Oh, absolutely felt the love. And I've been like saying on Chiclets forever, because obviously fashion's not my thing too much. I say I look good when I have to. And that night I had all my family, all my friends there. I invited, I had to look good that night. I wasn't going to come out in a Chiclets hoodie and sneakers. And I had that suit made a couple of years ago. I've only worn it probably twice. So I said, I'm going to dust the suit off, not tell anybody. I'll surprise the boys. And I think people are very surprised they showed up in a nice suit.
Murls, he didn't have on the running shoes either. Hey, he's old school. Like, you love that. He had a suit. He had the real shoes going.
Yeah, he was looking pro for the family, but later in the weekend, there's some other news about your family that was brought up by Biz.
Oh no.
I mean, what is going on with that? Is there any truth to it? What did the old man think of that?
My mother you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Biz said he's dating your mom and he's your dad now.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, I got up, like I said, I had a bunch of texts from family, friends. Oh, great night. And my mother, there was no words. It was just a picture of her and Biz. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I was like, I could have kept it quiet. I said, we'll play it up for a joke. My mother thought it was hilarious. She watched the clip. But yeah, I don't think Biz is going to be my stepfather. I think she's probably listened to the show enough.
One more thing for you too, just about that on the pod, when we were sitting on there, you said that was one of the top 3 moments in your life. And I'm just curious if you're comfortable sharing the other 2. What were the other 2?
It's funny. Like, I was
wondering that.
I didn't have 2 other ones in mind. I just wanted to be like, I know it was definitely top 3. Like, so I didn't have like, oh, it's after this, it's after that. I just knew like, all right, it's definitely up there. Yeah, it was. I mean, that's not going to happen again. I mean, I don't know if we'll do a show back in Boston if we do at some point, but that was the first one I did, and all those people there, that came to see me and shit. I don't think I can recreate that. So I felt the love from everybody. And, my town, it's, I come from a small town. It's, got kind of a crazy history. So, people are very proud of you, and you kind of represent the town. And I felt that as well. So, it was the other 2, honestly, like I'd have to take on it. I mean, I hate to say
2011
sports, like,
Boston Bruins, that was a good one.
Yeah, the 3-pointer in high school that old Johnny
BNBL.
O'Callahan threw over to you.
Yeah, you know what, G? That's a good call. 2011 Bruins. That should have been automatic. I tend to think life
I'm
things.
going to help you out,
sports.
RA. Your wedding. You might want to say your wedding.
yeah, I know. Now, you guys, there we go.
Edit.
Yeah, I know. Explain on that. But yeah, the Bruins was great, G, because I got to, literally like party with your favorite players as they won the Stanley Cup. So yeah, that's probably it. Now I'll think of something 20 minutes later and be like, oh shit, that would have been there. But yeah, it really was a special night on, dog. It was just like I said, it's probably not going to happen again that way. But I was glad everybody was there and got to take it in. I got to give my parents a little love too. That was nice that they got to stand the note. So I'm glad people responded to my call.
Attaboy, RA. Well, we're glad to have you on. Finally, we've had those other donkeys on, pigeons, whatever you want to call them, on with us. The first couple, one was a kangaroo court. We're like, we got to get some RA flavor in here. So we're going to take you to our next segment now, introducing. It's an old segment with a new name. We're going to call it Chiclets Chirps. It used to be Chiclets Game Notes before, when we were Chiclets, etc., Murls. And this is kind of when we just kind of look at some of the stuff on the show, or moments or things or trends that you guys kind of do that kind of take off. And Murls, you got the first one here that is actually hilarious.
It's been something I've been tracking for a couple of years now. And it seems like whenever Biz and Wit chirp a team, they immediately go on a win streak. It happened a couple episodes with the Capitals and the Rangers. They're two of the hottest teams in the league. I know you guys, the show came out last night. Was there any teams you guys chirped yesterday that I can start betting on now, RA?
I don't know. We kind of were nice to teams this week. I don't remember really shitting on anyone too much. We're actually nice to the Capitals because they had a couple guys coming back. Gee, did we really dump on anybody this week? I thought we were pretty nice to everybody.
No, I think pretty nice to anyone. I'd say if anyone, maybe the Devils, but other than that, no, we were pretty nice to everyone.
Yeah, there was no one was really slumping too bad that we had to like shit on. It was kind of a milk toast week, I guess you'd say, story wise.
And in the intro here today, before we brought you on, we kind of got into like our text messaging group conversation about the Devils. So I'm sure you guys had some fun, like ripping on Pasha. It seems like an easy target with him with the Devils. He's on like an island by himself. But that text thread, when you put it on there, you like texted like, we've got to put this on social, like this whole thing.
It's a Vancouver kid. Like how are you a Devils fan? It's just like something odd about it. But it's fun to bust his balls. But it's hilarious, that thread. Everybody, it's like, do you guys not watch the game? Everybody's, this is over first period. It's like, it's 1-0. It's 2-0. Like you guys not paying attention. And sure as shit, Devils come back, win in overtime, made everybody look silly on the thread. It's like, come on, man. Everybody does that on Twitter during football. A team's up 7-0 in the first quarter. It's like, dude, there's 3.5 quarters left. People always jump the gun. So that was funny that Pasha got the last laugh anyways. He's
like Bugsy chill. RA's like Bugsy chill right now. He's just so chill about it. In the other sense, Murls, we know those wagon shirts. Did you guys do a New Jersey Devil wagon shirt at all? Or is it just the Buffalo Sabres one?
We've done a ton. We did do a Devils wagon shirt. We've done an Islanders wagon shirt. We've done
Islanders.
Yeah, we've mushed a few teams here. It's now
so it's funny.
We weaponize it.
So yeah, so RA, this is the funny thing about you guys, which Murls really hit home. It's like you rip on a team, they go on a run. You give a team love, they stink.
It's definitely, I mean, I think those two go harder than me. I try to like, not go too over the top sometimes, but it is funny the way it happens. And you wonder like if guys are listening to the room, I don't think they give a shit at the end of the day. I mean, it's fucking Biz and Wit goofing on them, but it is funny the way that works sometimes. Like, even if we just not even dump on a team, like, this team's been shitty. And, like if they haven't been playing good and then like a week later, they're on a friggin' tear. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun aspect of the show. And those guys aren't afraid to be peckerheads and say peckerhead things.
Got anything else, Murls, for RA on this set in this area?
I want to move on to his expertise.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll move us along then. I'll get us going. I want to hear this too, because actually in previous shows, and RA, you have to know this. You have a lot of obvious fans and people that support you. And obviously your, I guess we could say character on the show, where we've done this segment in the past where some of the things that maybe you have said with like trying to do the Jesper Brat or whatever it was. And I found it hilarious because you couldn't do it.
I was, that's the one I couldn't
even that one too. I was getting like chirped because I was like, they're like, how do you chirp RA on the pod? Oh my God, show some respect for RA. So I'm glad we have RA on for this segment to defend himself on the vlog that came out and defend the show on some of this and defend yourself on some. I made fun of you, I think, which I burned myself on for doing a pick on somebody or an interview with Kyle Connor where you're like, you don't have any goals, dude. Like, what's up? And then he got like a hat trick later, but I was unaware of the bank thing. So it was on me. I'm an idiot. You were right. You got it. You got a Chiclets bump for him. But now it's time for Barstool Sportsbook and the score bet in Ontario with RA and Murls. Let's go, boys. Murls, take her away with this.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it started and try to explain to some people how each night we have a Barstool Sportsbook special we put together. And then with the score bet up in Ontario, we usually have at least one or two of us with some bets on there. So make sure you're always checking them out, especially on Tuesdays. We all throw in a goal scorer and a game winner. So those are a really fun day, Tuesdays for the score bet. And then, the Barstool Sportsbook one, we do all sorts of things, over unders, point scores. And, me and RA are in charge of making those up and hopefully we're turning more of a profit than losers, I guess.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. So sorry. Go ahead, Dog.
No, I just wanted to say, like, it was kind of cool walking around Boston too, and we get to go in public like that. Like, I felt like we were rock stars, and it was so cool having people yell out like EBR, like randomly. And we saw that in the blog too at one point, I believe, when we were walking around, someone yelled EBR. Whit loved it. We all love it. You guys get a lot of pump, a lot of followers following your picks. So let's go with the EBR game of the month.
Yeah, we're 2-0. We've had 2 episodes. We're 2-0. The last game was Skellefteå in Sweden. They won 3-1. It was a no sweat winner. Our armor bet, our combined bet is 1-1. We took a horrible beat last month. We had 13 minutes left to go. We only needed 1 more goal. Couldn't get it. So that was brutal. But I'm back again today with another EBR game of the month. Same spot, Sweden. Team was, if you remember episode 1, it was Färjestad 3-way. We won it on a penalty shot with like 2 minutes left. So Saturday in Sweden, Färjestad versus HV71, and it's going to be Färjestad 3-way again.
Oh, we're going. You're like the king of the Swedes, man. You crush this league, Mur. I love it.
Unreal. Nothing wrong with
Unreal.
3-way action either.
Do you get on RA? Are you going on do you hammer like Murls' picks a lot? Or do you tend to go with your own gut and your own feel?
I do. Murl's probably the only person I tail, and just with the European leagues too, just because his insight is fucking uncanny and better.
All right, you're a vet. I feel like you're a guy who likes to make his own decisions. Yeah. You're not someone who goes and takes other.
Been doing this a long time, G. Great point. Just a veteran.
No, that's what I'm saying. Murls is probably the only one, and that's only for like the European. I don't do it for the NHL. No offense, Murls, but no, I definitely old school. Go with my gut. I'll listen to other people, but I generally go with what I like. It's like, it's fucking my money, man. I'd rather lose it myself or win it myself than listen to somebody else.
And like I always say is like, ride me when I'm hot. Like if you see I've hit 4 or 5 in a row, that's the time to get on and start playing me. You don't have to play every play, but when I get on these streaks, we've seen it before, 12, 13, 14 in a row. That's when you want to jump on. And that's when I know RA have sent me some screenshots, and he's got more on these games than I did. It's like, God damn it. I'm like, I'm betting in the minor leagues here.
We'll keep those numbers off the but I do like to fling it sometimes. I've been out this for a while. Like I said, was on a little hiatus for a bit, but I had a dip, and I'm glad I did, because you keep track of everything. All right, I would have done this tonight, that tonight, and it would have just been bloodier and bloodier. So I'm gonna dip my toes back in it. And what's it? Football playoffs this weekend. I'll have something going on this weekend.
Is this why you sweat so much, RA? I know it's been really told about the sweat. Is it because of the high?
No, I don't stress out. Honestly, if I lose a bet, it's over right away. I'll swear I'll drop a C-bomb or an MF, and that's it. I forget about it and move on. No, I was that sweat was just the weekend. It was the last day, 4 days in Boston. We were having late nights, a lot of drinking and whatnot, and that place was hot as balls too. So yeah, that was a pretty disgusting display of sweat going on. But what are you gonna do?
You were prepared. You had the little handkerchief ready to go. So hopefully you have your handkerchief ready now. Let's get your picks, RA. You got some action ready for Chiclets Game Notes listeners?
Yeah, I guess I'll call it my game of the month, Murls. I know it's tough to pick when a team's still got a couple games in the middle of the week, but Tampa Bay at St. Louis Saturday night. St. Louis, man, they're too wonky right now. I don't know if they're going to hit the playoffs, if they're going to start selling. Tampa's fucking Tampa Bay, man. I don't know what the price is going to be, but should be a decent price on the road. So I'm going to take Tampa Saturday night as my major pick. Also, you know what? I'm going to look at the Sens in Colorado. Colorado's been again, they've been a little wonky lately. They've been missing a lot of guys. I know they got the Schneid the other night in Edmonton, but I don't think they're 100% back. Ottawa, we know they're frisky, especially on the road. They should be a pretty good price there. So I'm going to jump on the Sens the same night. But Tampa's my major pick, though.
RA's pesky Sens. We'll be seeing the hashtag all night if they get to the lead and hold on there. But I love the Tampa call. Great call on that one. I got that circled now, and I don't know if I'll ride you with the Sens, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at Seahawks San Fran. I mean, 9.5 points, man. That's a lot of points for a couple division rivals, man. So I might jump on the Hawks too, especially Geno Smith. He had a good year. San Fran got a rookie QB in there. So yeah, I think I just talked myself into the Seahawks too.
What a beauty. Murls, where are we going? I know you got some picks coming up here too.
We got one more. Me and you combined on. We always like to take an over. We like to see goals. Our boy Elio, he's always overs. So the armor play is always an over. And Friday night, Edmonton, San Jose, over 6.5. neither one of these teams know how to keep the puck out of the net. They both know how to score. Obviously, the big two in Edmonton, then you got Carlson and San Jose. This game could go over in the first period at 6.5.
Yeah, I loved it. I gave you a couple picks with that, and we kind of settled. We were kind of talking it over, and we settled on that game for sure. I don't know what it is about. Well, not necessarily LA, although Monday against Edmonton, it did kind of get out of control a little bit, but they're kind of more defensive style. But I think those other Cali teams is just like, we'll look to see who's coming in there and then just rip the over on them. I feel that's how I feel most nights. What else we got, Murls?
Very safe trend. Everybody's out at the beach just looking for a good time that night, get some points and get out of there. That's it.
Did you have some specials or anything with the score bet?
Yeah, well, just keep on there. It's all over our social medias. We're retweeting, we're making them. People are sending me their picks all the time. Oh, make this a special, do this a special. Send them into us. Sometimes somebody will have, the guy's going for his 1,000th game or 500th goal, and let's hunt that. So that refreshes our minds and gives us a fun bet to have. It's all for fun. We're trying to make some money, but it's all for fun. We're all a team. We're all in it together. So get on there and let's have some fun.
And RA, what do we got for you coming up? We're going to kick you loose after this little gambling segment. It was awesome to have you on. What do you got coming up here? What's your life looking like in your new stardom? Do you have to wear suits around Boston all the time now? Is that recommended?
Fuck no, man. I probably the next time I have a suit on will be either a wedding or a funeral, whichever comes first. No, I'm still like a slob. Basically, the only thing is like if I haven't shaved my head for a while and I look like a suburban dad with like the male pattern baldness, I make sure I wear a hat in case I get stopped for a picture or something. But no, I don't get gussied up. That's kind of like my thing, dressing like sweatpants or whatnot. The next few weeks, dude, I'm getting the wind back in my sails after the Boston weekend, man. I'm the old fuck of the crew. I'm still licking my wounds a little bit, still tired, and I'll be ready to go by February.
And you know what, boys, the coolest thing ever, RA was kind of mingling after, what was it, the outdoor game in the hotel lobby, and I met the doctor guys that saved his back, his sciatica. Wasn't she there?
It was the chiropractor I did not end up using, but she was the first one to slide in my DMs offering to help. And then I said, if I do end up using a chiro, I'll use you. And I bumped into her randomly like a month ago. And then again, we're like pals now. So I got her number. I'm like, hey, come out, meet us for beers later. So yeah,
she was great.
Shout out Dr. Britt. Yeah, she's a hot shit, man. Played up at UVM. Big hockey gal. She was great. So stay tuned for RA's picks. Obviously, podcast drops every Tuesday. Awesome hanging out with you in Boston, Murls. What do we say about the hospitality? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I was walking into the live show and some guy's yelling at me, "Hey, Murls." He's like, "I'm RA's buddy." He's like, "Let's go grab a beer." And I'm like, I got to go into a live show. But RA has people everywhere. And I was really happy to get there and meet all his family and friends. And
yeah. That was the best to see how proud everyone, even for you, G, your whole family. Every time I turned around, I was like, I'm Grinelli's brother. Then there's like, I'm Grinelli's brother.
Yeah. How many of them are there? There's like 10 guys I met. They were trying to say they're your brother.
Yeah, it was a blast.
It was awesome.
They're all crippled too.
Yeah. You guys put on a show. It was great. The hospitality was awesome. The Boston people and fans were amazing. It was cool to experience what you guys have built. And obviously, RA, the original guy in the live show, went through the tweets of how it all kind of came together, which was really good to see the origin. And me and Murls are pumped to have you on here too, to get you on here for the fans and the people, and kind of a different setting to talk to you like this and pick your brain about the vlog that was just released and where you're at and hear how you're doing. So thanks for coming on with us, buddy.
My pleasure. Anytime. I love getting grilled instead of doing the grilling. Love to do it anytime, boys. Hit me up.
There it is. Rear Admiral. Thanks, buddy. We'll send him on his way. All right. Thanks, RA. RA Beauty. Glad we got him on. Heart and soul guy, original guy. Just loved his family, being around his friends. Murls. But we're going to keep moving things along here. Chiclets Game Notes. It's halfway point of the season, of course. And we decided we want to go through, some of these teams in the league, maybe through divisions on some of the moves that they're going to be looking to make, right, Murls? Like this kind of hits you. I'm a guy that got traded at the deadline. I trade Pittsburgh to Atlanta. Big move for the Penguins, getting Hossa, Dupuis in that trade that I was a part of. So it's starting to creep up where teams are starting to position and look like, what do they need? We kind of see what they are. So let's crank into it right away here. We got to start, We'll start out east. We'll start with Toronto, Mer.
Well, yeah, we got to start with the Leafs so Biz isn't mad at us,
Oh, yeah,
So
here we go.
my biggest thing for the Leafs is obviously the D, and I don't know why I picked this guy because his name's so hard to say, but I would love to see him in the blue and white, Jacob Chikrin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
From the Coyotes. Coyotes, they need the tank. They want Bedard. They've started to. They've lost 5 in a row now. They were trying so hard early on to give away that first pick, but time for them to sell. They're done. Give Chikrin to the Leafs, and then that's the guy the Leafs need to make a real move.
Can you imagine that if they get him? That's like the big fish defenseman, I feel like, really for like, a team looking for a guy. And we got to go, gee, give us something on Boston, because those teams is it going to be probably Leafs Tampa again?
Oh, get out of here.
Boston's a clear runaway. Well, they're clear runaway. They could go to the Bahamas for the next 2 months and they're fine.
I am a little worried about this Jake DeBrusk injury. He's been lighting it up for them this season. He's got that broken leg or fractured leg.
Well, when did that happen, by the way? Did we know that? Like, was he playing with that?
It happened during the Winter Classic. We know that. So
yeah, he scored the goal with a minute and a half left to screw over our overtime bet.
But I would love to see the Bruins go get a top 6 forward. It was Patrick Kane up until like a week ago, but then you heard Elliot Friedman start talking about how he's got like a nagging hip injury and he could end up shutting it down for the whole season. So I would like them to go get a top 6 forward. I can't necessarily say who right now, but I would say Patrick Kane if he's healthy.
Ooh, Kane. A lot of teams obviously going to be wanting in on Kane. Can the Bruins make that work? Jeez.
But it all matters. It sucks for the Blackhawks too, because they're just losing leverage as each day goes by. He's injured. He's got a no trade clause. He's going to be able to decide wherever he wants to go. So yeah, they just lose leverage by the minute.
Yeah, good point. And then going through the rest of this, Tampa, obviously we could talk. I mean, they'll probably just stay as is, I would assume. But looking at Buffalo, like Buffalo's intriguing, right? Because I think they capture one, like their fans are crazy and cool. Buffalo's a great sports town, but 2, their team's kind of exciting and up and down. And can they jump some teams and kind of sneak in? Is this going to be the year that they kind of get that feeling and they get out of it and Tage Thompson craziness? And what do they need to do? And I think we look at it, right? And it's kind of goaltending. We've seen them bring a guy up, put him back down, have a guy, Craig Anderson, sitting there. He's like 43 years old, I think. He's like the Tom Brady of goaltending right now. Just keeps playing and eating nuts. He must eat a lot of those peanuts and stuff, like Brady diet. But what goalie is Coyotes looking at the Vejmelka? I like Vejmelka.
That's what Biz is big on Vejmelka going there. I'm a Buffalo guy. I'm even greedier. I want Gibson from Anaheim.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Pittsburgh guy.
He can play great at times, and man, if they're right there, if they get the goalie, I don't want to see the
that'd be dangerous
in the playoffs.
That'd be dangerous if they get a goalie the way they play, high event, high octane offense hockey.
Why would you keep Gibson too? Like you got to do everything you can to tank for Bedard at this point. So it's like sell him off and just make this team even fucking worse.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I even think about the Flyers. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, start selling. Like, I even think of Carter Hart to that matter. We'll go to the Metro now. And I'll I say that about Philly, but looking at New Jersey, Pasha's team, like I think Tays' name could come up in that conversation as well. And so bring some leadership. They got a seemingly young group, right? Like, and Dougie Hamilton's kind of their veteran guy. Like, maybe get someone in there like Kane that plays that same kind of style that they do.
I love that. Rumor boys. I love that a lot.
Rumor boys. Let's go.
Love that.
I love it. Murls, you got anything out of the Metro also?
I like how Washington, I said it was the end of the road for them in the preview.
They survived,
so I'm an idiot. Yeah, they've survived, and now they're getting Wilson and Backstrom back. So I don't think they need to do much. Those count as 2 new guys, like we've talked about. And the team I'm really interested in. You're our expert on this team, Army. I need to know what the Penguins are going to do.
Oh yeah, I think they need to stay healthy. One, they've had some big injuries, and obviously we know what happened with Chris Letang. And then the passing of his father was a big thing too with him, and Petrie missing a significant amount of time with an arm injury, and their bottom 6 has been riddled. And I think that's like where you get the heartbeat of your team. So they need grit. They need to get grit. And the guy that I always like, and be interesting to see what they do. I know it takes a lot to make it work financially because the Pens are kind of right to the cap. But if like a Josh Anderson type player could kind of come in and provide that. You know, they added Archibald, but they, you know, in the offseason, he's a smaller guy, bottom 6 guy. But if you could get a guy like Anderson in there, and that's wishful thinking, they need some meat. Let's go. Let's go. Help and insulate Gino and Sid and those guys to play their game a little freely with a big body guy like that. Anything on the Rangers? We got to talk a little Rangers too, maybe.
I think they're right there. I think they can win the cup. And if you can go and somehow make it work, like we talked about, get Patrick Kane or any of these other big guys, even a Chikrin, if you can somehow do anything you can, you're right there. Who knows what's going to happen next year? I think the Rangers are right in the mix.
Do we have Kane going to everybody, boys?
And he won't go anywhere now.
I know. Let's move to the Central. Boys. I know a team that's intriguing to me that's kind of turned it around, and they play like bully style hockey mixed with a little bit of flavor, like Minnesota. And, you know, and looking at them and what they could do and what they could be, right? And who they could look to kind of enhance this team, Murls. Do you have anyone in mind of something something they need to target?
They are hot. They are the hottest team ever since they got Reeves. They've been on fire, and I want them to get another right shot guy, Brock Besser. If I say that right?
Besser.
I'm the worst name guy. Brock Besser from Vancouver. Time to sell. Minnesota, get another goal scorer, take some pressure off the Kaprizov and Zuccarello.
And this division's interesting. I think there's a lot of sellers in this division looking at it, or a lot of teams that are stuck in between. And I know we talked on the podcast after kind of about St. Louis and what they are. And I kind of said, I think they're kind of in between. And there's 2 names that kind of come up, and Tarasenko is one that's been floating around for a while now and didn't get claimed by Seattle. And, you know, all this, you know, what are they a sell-off? Are they selling this year? Yeah.
I absolutely think it's time for the St. Louis Blues to sell.
Is O'Reilly there?
I said at the beginning of the season, I got scared. I cut it out because the boys gave me a hard time. I'm a shell of a man. I'm a mouse. But at the end of the day, this run, I think you can sell off, but still rebuild on the fly. I think Biz mentioned trading Parayko. I wouldn't go that far as trading a stud like him, but I think you can trade Tarasenko, and you can trade I don't know if I'd even trade O'Reilly, but you can reload on the fly, get some young picks, because they still have guys like Kyrou, guys like Thomas. They still have Binner back in net. So I don't think it's like they need to go full rebuild, but I think they should sell off here at the deadline.
Look to move some of their pieces.
I want to see Tarasenko go to the Islanders. He's exactly what they need, like a star scorer, like big time game scorer. That would be a perfect trade partner for them.
Rumor boys.
And then obviously we've already nailed on Chicago. They're kind of the team that's, you know, when you're looking at Bedard coming up this year, and this is why we're talking about some of this stuff, right? It's like, who's going to be in the mix for him in the lottery and give themselves, you know, the best odds. And Chicago, Murls, I look and what are they doing? Like they're
doing it. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. They're losing. They're losing like they're supposed to. But
you know, to G's point though, like with the Kane and Tay, I guess like wait and see, and for them as players, right? They're gonna wait and see too. They're gonna wait and see like what's out there and you know what teams are wanting to do, and then when they come knocking, give themselves the best option to go to a winner, right?
Yeah, the only thing I can see now is because like they're really in a good spot for Bedard. Maybe Kane wants to hang on there and play with him for a few years coming up.
So I was just reading that there could be a possibility that Patrick Kane signs a 1-year extension with the Chicago Blackhawks, then shuts it down for the rest of the season. So he can get healthy, get this hip fixed. Then next season comes back, you know, a few months into the year, once his hip is all healed up, plays alongside, you know, Bedard, Fantilli, Mitch Shev, one of these top picks, and plays out next year. And then after that decides, all right, I'll go somewhere now. I'll sign my big ticket then. But with that nagging hip injury, I think who knows what could happen.
Yeah. And I want to bring up one more team in this division, boys, is the Winnipeg Jets. I just think
that's your team.
That was my team. I jumped off them this year, and now they're
now they're going
like they're supposed to.
Well, Bonus goes in there and just gets the boys going. Ricky Bonus, big old beauty.
They got 5 in a row wins right now. They're buzzing at the right time.
Their goaltending's unreal. They just are rock solid. They're tough to play against. They can score.
Do you think they can make a cup run, both you guys? Yes or no?
Well, it depends. What are they going to do? I think they should go get some. They got to look at the market. They got to go and look and try to get some. I think they're in the NHL right now. Probably if they look to enhance this team in the right department, could be the sneakiest non-talked about team. And that division with Dallas and Minnesota, can Colorado make a push? What's going to happen? But I think they're pretty sneaky. I think they're pretty rock solid. I think they're a tough team to play against the playoffs as well. I think they're set up pretty good. What are they going to do, boys? What
real
are they
tough. Home barn is real tough to play in. Tiny.
Absolutely. Absolutely, boys. The Pacific, stinky. The stinky Pacific, Mur. You seen anything in there?
I mean, I've already canceled all plans to go to Alberta like we did last year. Both those teams are pathetic.
Well, Oilers will get Kane back. It seems sooner than they expected, which will bump guys down, make them a little deeper. And obviously he adds so much, right? Like he's so important. Can he find his form right away and fit in? I mean, remember when they got him though, he came in out of nowhere and scored his first game. Like he was like literally not playing anywhere and just came in. So he has potential to possibly be like that, but he's so important to that team. So maybe is that enough to kind of give them that juice?
Yeah, it might be. But now that G just talked about, like, we'll probably be following the finals around, you know where I'm going with this. I want Vegas to make the run. Yeah. And I have Logan Thompson as my rookie of the year. I think he's losing it now to Beniers.
Beniers.
Yeah, another wrong one.
You're a beauty.
I like him, but I think we need a veteran goalie if we're going to go to the finals in Vegas. I don't think you can rely on the rookie without a veteran presence.
And Aiden Hill not good enough.
No, I don't think so. If we want to be in Vegas, Chiclets in Vegas for the finals, let's add a goalie to them, and they got everything else. And I know the cap is hell for them, but that owner is not afraid to trade anybody. So who knows what could happen there? But I want to see Vegas grab another goalie just in case Thompson flutters. And
imagine if Minnesota fell off, had like a big losing streak, and then Vegas trades for Marc-Andre Fleury and they bring him back to town.
I love this. I love these. Like, yeah, let's just say that Fleury's going back to Vegas. I love this. Someone will write a story about it. It's done. It's obviously going to happen. This is what, Gary Bettman loves doing this stuff. He loves
rumor boys.
That's how Biz would say. He'd just rig it, like it would be awesome. And then we got to go to San Jose, our last one. First of all, Vancouver, what the heck's going on there? We've talked about Besser. Horvat's been talked about. He's, got to get a new deal. He's, what's going to happen with them and that team. Their fan base is crazy. Where are they going to go? But San Jose is interesting, right? Because they're down there too, and they've got Carlson, who's kind of a guy that's been floated now. Mur.
Yeah, Carlson, Meyer. Carlson, the only way they're going to get rid of him, they got to retain some of that contract, $11.5 million. But teams, if you can get him for half that, I think you're happy to get him. And San Jose's kind of got to be happy just to only have to pay for half of that as we're moving forward and rebuilding. But I got my eye on him and Meyer because those are two huge pieces of the puzzle.
All right, there we go. We kind of kicked through the league. I like all those ideas. I like the rumors we came up with. I like the juice we're starting to get flowing here early, heading in the trade deadline. Halfway through the season, we'll just get you started with that little tidbit right there. And we're going to move on now, Murls, to our segment we like to call Show and Minezys. And this is where we think something show, we think something Mindsy, we pick something out. Murls, let's start with you. What's your show this month?
Big show. Obviously all the news of the Buffalo Bills, and I don't know if everyone knows, Bills and Sabres have the same owners, so they're always one Buffalo. And the Sabres showed up the next day wearing the 3 T-shirts made for Damar Hamlin. And what happens? The best player in the team goes out and scores 3 goals. He scores the game-winning goal 3 minutes into overtime. It was his 3rd hat trick of the year. It was on January 3rd. It was his 30th goal. So they honored him. And as of now, the guy's doing great. He's back in Buffalo. So that's a big time show for me.
That's so show, buddy. That was an amazing moment. And all the numbers coming together. Don't we love that? It's like, they're just swirling around and that magic number 3 just pops up so many times in that crazy time in that city for that player. G, what about you? You got anything show this month?
I do. My show this month is the ACHA, also known as the American Collegiate Hockey Association. This is club hockey where all the beauties around the world play. This is the guys playing at University of Alabama, Oregon, Texas, Tennessee, all the big SEC schools, the big Pac-12 schools. It's so fucking cool. It's so much more legit than people think, especially down south. These people get, especially Alabama, like the team's doing autograph sessions. They have their own like customized locker room, unbelievable jerseys. They're packing the house every night. But one game in particular, and I was talking to some kid at the Winter Classic about this, is University of Kentucky versus Louisville. Every year they play one game at midnight in Kentucky, and they just pack the barn because those two schools, giant rivals. So it's just super cool. There's tons of traditions. There's tons of, it's just like, I kind of look at it almost like the ECHL. It's just this, like, it's this unbelievable untapped league that no one really knows about. It's so cool. And I say this to anyone, if you're a borderline Division III hockey player, you know, you're debating whether or not you can play college hockey, go look at the ACHA. There's so many good schools that you can go play at. And I know like Syracuse, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, there's Oregon, there's all these amazing schools. I can't suggest anymore. So this month, the ACHA, baby, that's who I'm calling up to the show.
I love that. We got to go to that midnight ACHA game.
We gotta. I would love.
Doesn't that
to
sound
go to
amazing? I love that. I love
If there's a way we could mix in a SEC football game and hockey game in a same Chiclets trip. Oh, wow. That'd be
unbelievable.
Big.
I didn't even know about this ACHA.
It's unbelievable. Colby, you would love it.
Shout out to everyone bumping and grinding away in the ACHA. I love it. I love that they're doing that.
I actually have one club hockey story I want to tell you guys from my club hockey days. That's actually kind of funny. So we were playing a game we went to Castleton. We went to Castleton State to play a game. I played for the Plymouth State team, and I think it was like an inaugural ACHA year. We were like applying to get in, but we went to Castleton. We got there. Half our team didn't show up. So how it worked at Plymouth was the coaches of the club team were two former players from the Plymouth State Division III team. So what happened was we didn't have enough guys, so both our coaches had to suit up for us. They had their equipment somehow, and they suited up for us. And our coach ends up getting in a bench clearing brawl. Castleton fans throwing shit at us the whole game, but our coach ends up getting in a bench clearing brawl. The game ended in like the second period because we didn't have enough guys. So that's kind of what the club hockey level is.
This is what we got to see. We got to see this.
It's an absolute shit show, man. It's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. It's like Slapshot, like Reg Dunlop, player coach, just going in and starting to stir it up.
Yeah, my brother played club hockey at Springfield College. I saw a few games of his over there. It's for everybody. Everybody gets to play. Everybody has a good time, and I know they have a bunch of beers after the game too.
Well, what's crazy too, though, is like there is tryouts for this shit. It's not like just like beer league. Like you got to try out, you got to make the team. Like I know at UMass Amherst, they have like a Division I team, a Division II team, like a school like University of Delaware. I think they have a Division I.
Hold on. They'll find a division. If you want to play, there's enough people that they can do a Division II. It's not just, you got to make that team. Cause I imagine there's a wide range of skills. Like people are just like, I want to play. I played like, my whole life, but I stink.
If you stink, you're not playing in the ACHA. I'll tell you that right now.
But you're in the Division II ACHA.
No. If you're like a terrible hockey player, you probably won't be able to make the ACHA. I think it's just like all you had to do was really be able to play high school hockey. You don't have to be a good hockey player, but like I don't think RA could go try out for like the North Adams State like club hockey team and make it. You know what I mean? I think it's not just sign up and play. But
he ain't making it. We saw his vlog.
Yeah, we saw it in the vlog. But there are divisions. There are different divisions. And I know like the top division, like there are kids who could have went Division II, Division III, and they just ended up, going to a sick SEC school down south. Shout
out to this league then. Shout out to keeping the dream alive. Shout out to just sweating off the boilers. Shout out to everyone getting a chance to still keep it going. I love that. That is so show. My show thing for me is the Penguins flying the entire team. After their road trip and game in Arizona, they played in the Boston outdoor game. They flew to Vegas. They played the Golden Knights. They went to Arizona. They played them, and then they flew back to attend their teammate and brother and buddy's father's funeral, which was kind of kept under wraps a little bit, way out of the way to go there and be there for him and support him in his time of grieving. Amazing thing to do, I think, by the organization and the team and the players, to get together to want to be there for their guy. That's my show moment of the month. Just we've seen with the Damar Hamlin thing and the outpouring of love and support from everyone, and then with a buddy hurting. And I mean, he's not an old guy to lose his father like that. So it was a tough time and an amazing gesture by the team and players to be there for him. I love it. Minezys, boys, let's move on to things that we weren't too thrilled about. Like send this shit right to the Minezys. Murr, kick us off.
I'm watching the game the other night, Edmonton, LA, Pulley RV. I think I got that name right.
Boom.
Probably the hardest
That's
one.
the hardest one.
And he got it. He got in his second fight of the season, the guy says, and then he says he's leading the team in fights, which, Biz is calling them the vanilla lattes all the time. And I didn't really believe in it, but I looked up the stats. Yeah, he's leading the team in fights. You have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Pulley Harvey's the guy leading fight. You got to get some muscle. You got to get
going on.
Well, he's got to do something out there.
Well, I guess.
He's not doing anything else. He might as well fight.
Let's get some meat in there to get some protection for the two biggest stars in the game.
Do you see that Costin's throwdown after with Lemieux? I didn't know he could throw him like that. I was like, damn, where's he been then?
But Edmonton, do something. Your guys are wasting these years away. Let's at least have some muscle and little energy. I looked up the Bruins. They had a bunch of fights. They're the best team. Let's all be more like them. If you're Edmonton, you're looking for something. But that was really brutal. And
the lattes, is that going to stick? That's sticking. The lattes. Send it to the Minezys. You got Pulley RV leading your team in Tilly's. Get them in the come on. What are you doing? What are we doing here? G, you got anything you want to send to the Minezys?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. I'm going to send myself to the Minezys. Just given all of 100% of my laundry, every piece of clothing I had, to some random guy who told me he could do it cheaper than the company I go through. Just an absolute bonehead move. I deserve to have all my clothes stolen from me. So I'm sending myself to the Minezys this week, boys.
Love
Captain Underpants. He's running around with your undies on.
I know. Well, it's I'm a small guy too. This guy was a big dude. It's not like he can wear my clothes.
Maybe as a kid, like a little 8-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Gee, now you wish you took that shinny hockey merch I tried to give you in Boston.
I know.
You have some clothes.
I could have used it. I could use it right now. I'm wearing a fucking smelly pink Whitney jersey that I wore the Chiclets Cup.
Keeping it grimy. I love it. Looks good though, buddy. My Minezys moment was, and I believe we posted it on Spittin Chiclets socials, was the brawl, the big bad junior B brawl that was in BC in the KIJHL. It was the Nelson Leafs versus the Beaver Valley Nighthawks. 35 total games of suspensions. I watched this thing and I'm like, how do you get suspended for hugging and wrestling a guy? There wasn't any gloves on the ice. There was no brawling going on at all. And we have to call this thing a damn brawl. What a joke. This is I'm piggybacking off of Murls. It was what is this? A clip I saw was just 10 guys, 2 and 2, paired off all over, wrestling on the ice. Nothing happened in this brawl that I saw. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was not. I was in a bench clearing brawl in juniors. If you want to hear this story quickly, this was chaos. So the night before our goalie, or the weekend before, our goalie got in a fight and he got suspended for a game that his dad was at. So his dad was all over him. So fast forward a week later, we're in a 5-on-5 line brawl, and the other team's goalie goes down to beat up our goalie, and he doesn't want to fight because he doesn't want to get suspended and yelled at by his dad. So the goalie's just beating on him like this. So my dad was the D coach. He sends out our biggest Ds, go help the goalie. So he skates by their bench. As he's skating by, they send 4 guys over the bench to go beat up our one guy. So I'm sitting there, I'm the captain. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. We all jump the boards. We're like, let's go. Boom, their whole bench clears. That was a brawl. All the gloves are off.
That's a real brawl.
I finally get tired out, and I'm up against the glass, I'm dead. All right, me and the guy
you already scored 4 goals. You're exhausted.
We're done. We're not gonna fight anymore. the coaches are swinging sticks at each other. They get done fighting. And the coach like, there's Murley. Somebody get him. So these two dudes come flying at me. I immediately turtle, and I'm just getting pounded on. So my one buddy, Z-Back, he comes over.
Oh, he's crazy. I met him.
I don't know if he can still get in trouble for this, but boom, kicks the guy right in the forehead. 30 zips across across his forehead like this. I mean, the cops end up coming. The girls on the PA, somebody call 911. Like, that was a brawl. And this thing went on for, I don't know, 15 minutes. And I don't think anybody got suspended. So to have 35 total games of suspension is just outrageous for that.
Oh my God.
There's a video somewhere. I got to find a video and get it on social media.
Z-Bac's going to go to jail right now, man.
Syracuse Junior Crunch versus the Quinny Hawks. We'll never forget.
Oh my God, that's the craziest thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should tell this story, and then he tells it, and it's just brutal.
He lives in Houston if anyone's looking for him.
Oh my God, Murls just got his buddy thrown in the clink, G. Unbelievable. That's the craziest story I've heard, maybe.
That is wild.
Oh, so brutal brawl. Way to go, guys. You're going to the Minezys. Like, come on. You're in Western Canada. It's a joke. All right, let's wrap that up. Moving on now, fan favorite segment, Murls. This is hot. We did it at the live show too. People love to hear it. Our text messages blow up. Everything gets going. G, Murls, it's time for Beer League Heroes. Do we have anything? I'll recap what we've done already. Rule number 1, because Murls, what are we trying to do this league?
Clean up the leagues.
Trying to clean up these easels. We're cleaning this joke league up. Like, it's a great league. It's almost like the Acha. Like, it's for everyone. Like, we all end up there, no matter how good you are or bad you are. There's a spot for you, and we love it. And this is what we're doing. Murls is trying to get his boiler trimmed down right now. He's going out there sweating it out. I love it. Shower Sheriff, episode 1. Great guy. Make sure you shower. Take care of yourself. I mean, you're going home in your clothes. What are we doing here? We're adults. Let's go clean it up.
I had a weird one. I got to add on to the Shower Sheriff now, because last night I played and there's 6 shower heads all next to each other. And I'm the first guy in, and I go to the second to last one. I don't know why I didn't go to the last one. I don't know what I was thinking, but I end up in the second.
You wanted buddies on either side of you. You wanted to be in the middle kind of.
Well, then the next guy comes in, he comes right next to me. Like, shouldn't he space down a couple? Like, so we have this huge shower and I'm like this, like next to the guy. Like, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, it's a crazy move. That's unacceptable.
Right. Okay.
Especially when you go almost to the end and there's 6. Yeah. Right. So he's got 4 more showers. He takes the first one next to you. I don't get that. Come on.
We're adding shower etiquette to the
shower etiquette inside the Shower Sheriff. That's a weird move. I love that you brought that up. Yeah. Number 2 rule we came up with, the beer package swindler. We called him the variety pack swindler, where he kind of saves all the beer when it's your turn to bring it, and he pops out all these like warm beat up beers from his bag that are all miscellaneous pack that he saved because he's cheap. Don't be cheap. Bring the good beer. Bring the big deal brew. Right, boys?
Mm-hmm.
And correct. So our next rule, Murls, number 3. I'll leave it to you to drop this baby for everyone, because this is legit. People need to know.
We dropped it in the live show, and I know G is one of these guys. He keeps saying he's not, but no wheelie bags. You can't be an adult bringing your bag in a wheelie bag.
If my dad came up to me after that show and he was like, if you have given off the impression that I let you use a rolly bag growing up, you have failed me as a son.
Did your dad say that to you?
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Rolly bags, boys, come on. Like, I get why you say that. I see it. I see the perception. You guys are the pros. I'm just a fucking little acha guy in the corner. But if I ever fucking used a rolly bag and brought that to the rink, my dad would have beat the shit out of me. Even if I asked for it, he would have beat the shit out of me.
How funny is that? The long show, all the great moments, and the first thing he says to you when he goes is that you give it off a terrible impression that you're a wheelie bag guy.
He's like, look at my son over here. I got wheelie bag son over here with the rest of them. We got 10 Grinnell boys, and this one's wheelie bag kid.
You see a lot of wheelie bags. I'm not going to lie. Like, clean it up. Clean up the wheelie bags. And Murls, we got a great question shouted to us, actually, when we dropped that at the live show. Some guy stands up. He goes, what about goalies? And I looked at you and you're like, no, not a chance. And I thought you would have some kind of sympathy in your heart for these weird goaltenders with all this gear. and they're old and they're like, picking up on different teams because there's not enough goalies. But we agreed no wheelie bags at all, right?
I want to see. I like the goalie who's got just a regular bag and then he strings up the pads and flips
he
the
slings them
pads
over
them and he's out. That's what a beer league goalie's supposed to look like.
Yes, I agree. Get the wheelie bags out of this league. If you're going to a game at 11:30 at night and you're getting out of the car or the truck and you're hauling your shit in and it's on wheels, get the fuck, turn around, go back, throw it in your thing and just go home. You don't deserve to be there if you got to wheel your bag in. If you're making it to that game, like clean this up, Murls. Hey.
Yep.
So let's hear some more. Let's hear some more submissions, boys. Let's hear it all. I hope G's dad forgives him for giving off that impression. That's an amazing story, actually. G.
Oh, tough look. Thinking I'm gonna get a congrats, Mike. I'm so proud of you. And I get a you fucking wheelie bag kid, you piece of shit.
Oh, that's great stuff. Send us some more stuff that you guys are doing in these leagues all over the place. We love to hear them. We got some great stuff last episode from across the world and some good pictures and some teams. So we'll move on now, but we love hearing that stuff. And I think people like listening to that, those kind of cool stories. And I love what Murls is doing and cleaning this league up. And we're trying to help you guys. But now it's time for a segment we like to call Riding the Bus. It's where we get into all the non-NHL happenings, Murls. And I know we have some World Juniors cleanups here we want to do a little bit, maybe talk about some prospects.
World Juniors, that was so fun. I've had my nephew every day ask me since, is there hockey today? Because we had all those afternoon games.
It was the best.
The action around the holidays, unbelievable. This year I really got into the juniors. I think because of all the big name draft prospects. And I've been very vocal on my Leo Carlson from Sweden, just being the Swede I am. But Connor Bedard, he stole
the show.
He put everything to rest. Number one, maybe the best prospect of all time. You won the gold, Army Canada. What did you see?
Yeah, I'll claim it. Of course we did. I was worried about the Czechs, boys. And I know, G, did you shout out the Czechs, right? G, that was G's call.
The Czechs and Jiricek.
Czechia. Sorry, we should say Czechia. Yeah, David Jiricek. Unbelievable.
The Chiclets Game Notes. We're the prospects guys. We're the draft guys. We got our thumb on the pulse, and G had that one check. I didn't see that coming at all.
Oh, they were just veteran, weren't they? G, big body, tough to play against, hang on to pucks, create. Jiricek was just a horse out there, just a monster, just a man amongst boys with his game.
I'll be honest though, that prediction, I said that right after Murls had just gone in depth on basically every other team. So it was that's all I had left. And it's I couldn't they were all right, G, what do you think? And I'm well, I can't recap what he just said about America, Canada, and Sweden. So I'm just going to throw the Czechs out there, and Jiricek's the only guy I know on that team. So hopefully it doesn't backfire, and it didn't.
Yeah, they were tough. Down 2-0, came back, battled back, tied up. They did that a few times in the tournament. Of course, it's juniors, right? So there's lots of ups and downs. There's lots of peaks and valleys through games with these guys, and it was unbelievable. But let's look at, you want to talk prospects a little bit, Murls, or should we just keep talking about Bedard and the numbers that he cranked out of there? Because I think,
he just stole the show. I mean, the Fantilli kid, he kind of got dropped down in the lineup, so didn't really see what I wanted to see out of him.
I know
Carlson
you tweeted out too. You wanted to see,
games.
you wanted to see Fantilli, right? You guys were interested in seeing what he looked like.
Interested in seeing him. He wasn't in the World Juniors, which we got to talk about that. There's some controversy that these Bedard records shouldn't count or really aren't that impressive because Russia wasn't there. And Michkov wasn't there. And so instead of playing Russia, they got to play Austria, which is,
okay. I can see that. They're a superpower. Yeah. That's actually a great point to bring up. Totally.
So, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer after the tournament the kid had, but some are saying that. Not me.
Some are saying that. We're saying it. But yeah, he set all these records. Unbelievable. I got some I'm hearing about Bedard too that came onto my plate. Rumor boys. I'm hearing that, we just saw the Olin Zellweger, defenseman for Team Canada, traded from Everett Silvertips to Kamloops Blazers for it was insane. A couple players, 4 years of first round picks, 4 second round picks. And I don't know how many, the picks are absolutely insane. I got it right here. 4 years of first round picks, 2 second rounders in years 23 and 26, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth over 4 years, and 4 players and I'm hearing you can't trade school age guys unless they ask for a trade is the thing. So hence the picks are going like crazy, like mad. But that's like a boatload. So think about what Bedard would get. And this is where I'm going. I'm hearing Bedard isn't going to be moved, will not be traded. And I'm hearing it's because the owner there wants to hear Regina Pats, Connor Bedard at the draft, #1 overall. And that's it. Think of what you could get for Bedard.
Oh my God.
How are you not going to move this guy? I think they're kind of a bubble playoff team, but like, is that what you're doing? Like, what are you
That's so
doing?
valuable, though. I mean, as like recruiting, like just so, like for 50 years, that video will be playing of Gary Bettman going up there and saying Connor Bedard, the first overall selection, Regina Pats. And we talked about this on Chiclets too, is like, think about how much money they're bringing in just every night. People are coming to watch this kid. Like he is financially, he could help any team in the Canadian
He helps all the leagues.
Yeah,
he's
helps
like
all
Crosby. Remember when Crosby was rolling through, packing every rink? That's what Bedard's doing right now out
and
west.
You still see Crosby in the Rimouski jersey, and you're at Rimouski, so that's what he's probably thinking too. He doesn't want to see him in another team.
Yeah,
imagine like he's probably a rival with who was your team, Red Deer Rebels. He doesn't ever want to see. He doesn't want to let them have a picture of Bedard in a Red Deer Rebels jersey, maybe.
So this is what you do. You just make the agreement. Like, we're going to trade you for like, an entire prospect pool for like the next 5 years. And all you have to do in agreements to trade you, to move you to a team that you can go win a Memorial Cup, is when you get drafted, just mention the Pats as many times as you can. Can I get this in writing?
Hey,
does that sound fair? Is that stupid? I don't know.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, I think. And if that's happening, that's crazy. But anyways, he came out of World Juniors. Was he done? No, 6 points, 4 goals against the Calgary Hitmen. Take that, Calgary. Well, Red Deer Rebel nemesis. And 2 of them were shorthanded, 13 shots. So Bedard's just ripping it up. I got one more little thing for you here, boys. In the SJ, Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, back where I'm from, the North Battleford North Stars are 29-0-2 record right now. And I'm guessing with a record like that and being from the SJ, and not some junior league in BC, if they're getting in a brawl, that team's dropping the middies, 100%. They're dropping the middies. It's old school. It's on. Shout out to the North Battleford North Stars and the SJ. The boys are getting her done. I think their head coach is from Humboldt too. So kind of just outside Saskatoon where I am, but they're doing damage right now in the SJ. Anything else there, boys?
No, I think that's good. I like talking to juniors and stuff. We'll keep an eye on all these guys for the upcoming draft, and maybe we can even do a little draft preview show, or maybe even put some boots on the ground at the draft this summer.
There's rumors of and we can cut this if we need to, but there's rumors of a certain vodka company potentially sending a certain secondary Chiclets podcast to the Frozen Four to watch a little collegiate hockey.
Wow,
that's on the table as well.
I just sat
and that's in Tampa Bay, boys. That's in Tampa Bay. Let's go.
So I saw.
Are we getting on the jet skis, boys?
I just went to RPI, saw RPI Colgate play. Great game the other night. I caught Maine was traveling through. My good friend Benny Barr, head coach. I caught the practice there. And I can tell you one thing, like, these guys are so much better than I was in college. These kids are flying around nowadays. Every kid is good. Like, when our college team, you could see first line and fourth, fifth line. It was a huge difference. Now all these kids are just buzzing. It's exciting game. I had a great time watching RPI play.
Are you recognized around there when you head back there as the old captain, the legend? Is your jersey
kind of
up? You got a picture everywhere there?
Yeah, there's a picture. It was actually really cool. As I brought my daughter for the first time, and there's a NHL alumni wall, and she's going up to the picture. That's you, Daddy. That's you,
cool,
Daddy.
Man.
So
that's real cool.
That was really cool. She was huge smile, and then we got some pictures, and yeah, we had a great time. And yeah, I still have some fans there. Nice.
They're all like mathematicians.
Well, tire
like,
pump. I needed the tire pump after the trip from Boston. I needed to be pumped up again. I was down in the withdrawal and the rehab from that trip, and I needed a little pump up, and went over there. It was cool.
And now you know why Murls is the gambling EBR guy, because the numbers game and RPI and just the tradition of big brains that come out of there, right? Is that majorly what it's known for? So did you feel like less than rubbing shoulders with the people around campus a little bit, or you feel like you're still like, you still got it?
I still got it.
Yeah, you do.
You look up
Yeah,
in the
you do.
rafters and you see Joe Juno's name and Adam Oates' name, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn it, I didn't live up to it all. I didn't get my name up there.
They got to get your name up there. Let's
They
get
gotta.
that. Let's get that going. Can we get that going? Murls to the rafters at RPI.
Murls to the rafters.
Flag.
Maybe we make a couple T-shirts and we'll start dishing them out at frat houses at RPI.
Yeah, let's go. Murls to the rafters. Let's get that going. Campaign starting now. Chiclets Game Notes. Murls to the rafters. RPI. It doesn't have to be next to Oates and Juno. Stick it in the corner off to the side, but he's got to get in the rafters. Number 19, captain.
What if they just threw an EBR banner up?
There you go. That's what we'll get up there before my number 19.
EBR flag, just a giant flag hanging for the.
Just hang the T-shirt. Just hang the blue EBR T-shirt up there.
Brilliant, G. That's just that's gold. That's gold. All right, we'll move on from riding the bus, and I'm going to try something new. This is the new thing I just kind of thought of, and I think it would be fun. If it stinks, we can cut it out. Gee, if not, we'll keep it in. But I want to try this new segment called Boys Trip Story of the Month. And it's kind of on the lines of when your beer league season's over, or, you got a bachelor party or doing a golf trip, say to Palm Springs or what have you. And just kind of the hijinks that kind of lead to that, as we all know, we're idiots when we all get together and looking to have good times. And a story I heard to kick it off, and we can build on this as we go, and people can send us other stuff in as well from the lunacy that happens. Heard a story of a guys trip that went to San Diego, and they went to like some day bar, like a day club. Have you guys ever been to one of those things, like a day club?
Love me a nice day club.
Yeah. Like, okay, explain a day club to me. I don't know if I've ever done it. I may have done it. I just don't know what it is.
You got pools, you got loud music, and it's
like
kind of like
Vegas.
It's like Miami.
Yeah,
it's like Miami or
party.
Okay, Vegas pool party. Okay, I've done that. Those are sick. But they went to like a
nice
totally
try, Army, pretending you haven't been to a pool party.
Well, I didn't know it was called a day club. I didn't know that's what you called it. I just went to a pool party, like ripped it up. Yeah. Total sketchy day club though. It was like really sketchy, like off of like Breaking Bad in that neighborhood, and it's like they're boozing, they're all mangled, they're crazy. They got tickets to go to the Padres game. They showed up to the Padres game, all like having a blast, cashing their tickets. They get in, they go get beers, they come and sit down. They don't know how they got in. They don't know why they got let in because they had no clue. They're all horny to see this game. It's 7-1 in the 7th inning. They literally they paid for tickets. They got all rippled up at a day bar.
That's amazing.
And that's just like so guys trip-esque of hijinks and things that happen. And I hope we can hear more stuff. But have you guys ever done anything like crazy like that? Like where it's just like, whoa, we lost track of time. This is insane on a golf trip or anything?
I just like to move because they can all go home and say they went to the game when the wife asked. So there's you check the box.
Got
we went to the game.
Stub.
It was awesome.
You got the ticket stub, Murls?
There you go. Yeah, prove everything.
Even if you don't go, yeah, you got the receipts. That's a great move for all the fellas out there. Yeah, keep the receipts, keep the ticket stub, crumple it up, rip it a little bit so it looks like you went to the game. You're getting up and down a lot. So that's a segment. Maybe we could build on that as we go here, as we get going on. This is only our 3rd episode, Murls. And I think that's it for us.
That's a good one. Yeah,
show.
Probably a little long, but we had RA on to talk some extra picks. It was a big time for riding on the bus with the World Junior. So probably a little long, but I had a lot of fun catching up with you guys, and I look forward to the next one. When is it?
February 2nd, I believe, right, G?
February 2nd. That's the plan. Should be in Florida around then. So maybe
let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about that. Have we made announcements on like we're going there? What are we doing? What's happening? Am I coming? Is Murls going to be?
Yeah, you guys will all be there. We'll all be at the All-Star game. We have not announced where we will be and what we will be doing, but we will be there. Same thing as normal. We'll be throwing a couple parties, drinking some Pink Whitney, drinking some big deals, and of course, interviewing some All-Stars. So we'll be a blast.
Anytime there isn't a work obligation, you will find me at the Elbow Room, Army.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah. Lauderdale classic bar right on the beach.
Fort Lickerdale. What a spot.
Greasy.
This season is unreal. Pittsburgh, Boston, then we're going Fort Lickerdale. Oh God.
Yeah, and then Tampa maybe for NCAA in the near future. Keep an eye on that if we have to do that. I'll wait.
Well, me and you both need the tan, Army.
Oh yeah, I gotta get
need
tan.
To be down in the sun.
I gotta get jet ski body going. I gotta get working out. I gotta get Peloton. I gotta get crushing stuff. get rid of the boiler. But that's it, boys. Episode 3, Chiclets Game Notes. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for catching the fever. G, thanks for getting it all together and running it. Murls, safe trip home back to Sweden. I know you're heading back. Thanks for coming in for the holidays. It was great catching up and seeing everybody in Boston, the whole Chiclets crew, Barstool people, everyone that put that on. Stay tuned for more as we come at you. Murls, thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
I love you, bud.
Hey-do.
Hey-do. Bye-bye.